forgot about that. Okay, hit record. Okay, so make sure you're talking to everyone you know, guys, because this thing, I mean, I have 75 people or something in my group, and it is insane. Like, all these people are purchasing the All Access Challenge Pack with no misgivings whatsoever, no objections. They're just like, okay, yeah, that sounds like an awesome deal. I'm in. And I've not ever, in my 4 years of business, as I said on the call earlier, I've never had that kind of response. People have always been like, well, I don't know, it's a lot of money. And even when you break it down for them, a lot of times they're like, yeah, I see the value, but I just don't have that money right now. But for whatever reason, everybody has the money for this. So it's pretty cool. So, I mean, it's definitely worth way more than that. But anyway, make sure you're leveraging the heck out of it. If you're not, you really are at a disadvantage. And I mean, you could be, if you're a new coach, you could have already made your money back, your investment back, which is pretty amazing. $70 per challenge pack you sell. You could have it back in three challenge packs and then some, and have some profit. And already be in Success Club after just 2, because it's 3 points for every challenge pack, which is amazing. So anyway, make sure you are talking to people about that and kill it. Don't just, go, oh, I'm already at 5 or at 6. Like, go ahead and see what you can do. Pay for your trip. Heck, I mean, I don't know if travel is my love language. I don't know if it is any of you guys. I love to give gifts and I love to travel. So those really do speak to me. But if you want to earn the trip that they're going to announce at Super Sunday, Super Saturday this coming weekend, by the way, if you're not yet registered, look in your area and see where one's located and get there. They are really important for your business. There will be a lot of announcements there. There will be a workout at most of them. Corporate will be a lot of them. Jill and Jericho will be, all the trainers will be making the rounds. But you definitely want to be there and find out where the Success Club trip for next year is going to be. You earn it this year and you get double points in January. So that's spending cash. So like, let me just give you a for instance. Last year we did a cruise. A few of us on the team went, and I was able to get my whole trip paid for myself and my husband, and also had I don't even remember, like $1,000 or something spending cash. So I didn't have to pay for any excursions. I mean, I didn't have to pay for anything. I was able to take our team out to dinner. I mean, there were only like 8 of us, but still it was really cool. Just because they gave us all the extra spending cash. So you earn it. So you're going to get paid to do what you do anyway. So sell some challenge packs, get some people healthy, go on a really fun trip, and have it all paid for. You can't beat that. If you guys are just joining, you're lying to me. The other thing is that the traditional challenge packs are going off sale this month, as most of you know, and the takedown dates for those are in the FAQ. It's Tour de Force, 21-day fix, 21-day fix extreme, and country heat. They are going down anywhere between the 9th and the 16th. So you have a little bit of time. If somebody just wants that one program or just wants the DVDs or whatever, make sure you tell them they're going down somewhere between the 9th and 16th. It says the exact takedown date, but they're different for each program. So you'll have to just check the FAQ. But it's between those dates. And if it says like the 9th, it's going to be the 9th, and it's usually pretty early. I wouldn't count on it ever extending past that. So make sure you take advantage of that, even though most people will probably want to spend a little bit extra and get the all access for the year. But there are a few people who live like in the boonies and need the DVDs. So we'll always have the DVDs. If you listen to the National Week Call, you heard Carl say that, that we'll always have those or whatever format for people who don't want to stream or whatever, don't have the capability. So there's that. Okay, Thursday is our first sneak peek of the year. We are going to, now you can't see me because my camera on my computer is messed up. So you just have to pretend that you see me. Really awesome. So anyway, that needs to be on my vision board, a new computer, I guess. Our sneak peek is this Thursday, so make sure that you are inviting like crazy to that, because this is the very best time for people, new coaches, to jump in. It's great because they can get their money back quickly with the All Access Challenge Pack, and it's also great because people are super excited right now to get healthy, and it's just a lot easier than it is, say, in November or December, when people are not as excited. They'd rather eat pie than do a workout. So now people are actually focused. and all of that. So make sure that you are inviting to the coaching opportunity, especially people who are challengers, who really love the products. Those are the people you really want to target. But our sneak peek is going to just be once a month. This year, we're just going to do it once a month instead of every 3 weeks. And if you have a prospect and you're a newer coach and you don't know what to say to a coaching prospect and you don't necessarily want to wait an entire month for the sneak peek, leverage the webinar. I posted a webinar that I did, probably, 6 weeks ago or so, maybe 2 months ago, in our recorded calls file in Arete. So go to that, and it's in bold, and you'll see the business opportunity webinar. Use that to send to someone who wants information. You want to strike while the iron's hot, right? You don't want them to have to wait and a whole nother month. So if you don't know what to say to them on a call, that's totally understandable. As a new coach, I would have never known what to say on a phone call to somebody about coaching. I hadn't really been a coach very long myself, so I wouldn't really know how to explain it to someone else or the comp plan or any of that. So that's why you rely on your veteran coaches. So it's all there for you. I've laid it all out for you. Use it. And if you'd like, I'm happy, or I'm sure many of you have a Star Diamond or a Diamond Upline who would be happy to help you if you want to have a 3-way conversation with someone after they've watched the webinar to answer any questions or whatever. You're not expected to know all the answers, so don't freak out. Be like, what? I would love to talk to people about coaching, but I don't know what to say or whatever. I get that totally, but make sure that you just take that step and let us do the work, because we've done it before and we know what we're doing. So we can definitely help you out. And I know most of the diamonds on our team, certainly the Star Diamonds, will all be willing to do that with you guys. Okay, so today I want to talk a little bit about goal setting, and I talked a little bit about this in December at our last team call, but I want to talk specifically about vision boards. Give me a show of hands. You guys have vision boards yet? Anybody? A couple of you, Kaylin, Jennifer. I don't know, Jessica. Okay, I don't know what you like in terms of, some of you are old school poster board, magazine cutouts, Google Images, whatever. I like mine on my phone and my laptop because that's where I work. So I actually have mine there each year, and Sharon raised her hand. But there are a couple apps that I really like, and I'm going to talk about what you need to be thinking about. Most of you are like, well, vision board sounds cool, but I don't really know how to do it or what should be looking for or anything like that. So Hay House Vision Board is one app that I like, and another one is called the Wishboard app. I'll post these in Arete if you don't have a pen right now. But so basically, there are those, and there are a few others. But I want you to think about some questions. Okay, I think my son is about to open the door. Sorry, hold on just a second. He already said goodnight once, but it looks like he's about to say it again. Yes, I love Hay House too. Let me see. Oh gosh, it won't let me do what I want to do. Good night, love. I love you. Sleep well. Okay, hold on. My computer just froze. Oh shoot. Can y'all still hear me? Anybody? Can somebody go off mute and tell me if you can hear me?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay, fabulous. Sorry,
Yes.
my what's it called? Totally froze. My laptop. It is really time for a new one, I think. I broke my phone too, so it's time for a new phone. Again, I just had the screen replaced like a few weeks ago. That's what happens when you have kids. It's craziness. And it just happened again. Leaving the park. So anyway, hold on. I'm going to try to pull something up on my phone because my computer froze. So sorry, guys. Okay, so you're going to go through some different things that I have for you and write some things down. So if you don't have a pen and paper, grab one now. And we're going to talk about some books that I want you to read, some websites, and some questions that I want you to consider. So I'm going to post the books and whatnot in our team page. You don't have to write those down right now. Get some questions. Most of this comes from just an epic video that I love by Simon Sinek, and he wrote Starts With Why, and it's a book that I really like. But it's How Great Leaders Inspire Action, and so I'll post this video also in Arete. But I want you to answer the following questions, and I'm going to give you a little bit of time to kind of think about it, and then we're going to talk about why addressing these questions. So if you were to accomplish your physical health and fitness dreams, so don't think small. This is a vision. I want you to think your ideal, okay? So if you were to accomplish your physical health and fitness dreams, how would your health improve? So just think about that for a second. How would your health improve? You don't have to say it out loud, but just jot something down. If you were to accomplish your health and fitness dreams, not just your goal, but your dreams, like your ideal health, your ideal fitness situation. Maybe you want to compete. Maybe you just want to play with your kids. It's going to look a little bit different for everyone. How would your health improve? How would you feel about yourself? What could you do that you cannot do now? I mean, it could be something like a pull-up, or it could be something much simpler than that. Like, you know, climb stairs without getting winded. We're all at different places on our journey, and that's totally okay. So after you have those things written down, I want you to think about why, and this is important, why are these things important to you? And then lastly, under this section, what is it costing you right now not to have these things? Is it costing you time with your children? Is it meaning that you're not social, you're not going out anywhere because you're not confident, you're not comfortable in your skin? You isolate. You don't feel like you can rock your coaching business because you don't feel good about where you are on your own journey. I don't know what it is. It's different for everyone. What does it cost? It's costing you something. So figure out what it's costing you right now not to have these things. Okay, once you have that written down, we're going to move over to finances. If you were to accomplish your financial dreams, like if you, I mean, and again, dreams, don't limit yourself. Don't be too reasonable. It's a vision. If you were to accomplish your financial dreams, maybe it's everyone's different. Maybe that means never overdrafting again the bank. Maybe that means, buying a house in Aruba, whatever that is. But I want you to write down the answers to these questions. How would you spend your days? But I'm also going to give you a spreadsheet to track your weekly income that I think might help you guys each month or each week, rather. That I'll post on our page. But how would you spend your days? I want you to feel your feelings, picture it. What does your life look like? Would you volunteer? What's your perfect day? Would you stay home with your kids? Would you travel? What would you do? Perfect day. What would you like to be able to do that you cannot do now? Maybe you'd like to pay off debt, pay off your house. Maybe it's something simple like getting a pedicure. Maybe you don't have the money right now to get a pedicure and you would love to get your hair done or get a pedicure, self-care, those types of things. I mean, nothing is too small. If those are a big deal to you and that would be important, then write that down. That's something that you haven't been able to do. Maybe it's something like paying off your parents' house, or if it's not your own house, or paying for a car for your parents. I mean, you think about other people too. Like, what would you like to do for other people? It's not just us. How would your lifestyle change? And don't skip out on writing things down because you think someone could look negatively on them, like some of the self-care stuff, the hair and the nails or lashes or whatever it is. If something like that, speaks to you, you'd like to do that, like still write it down. It's really important to write it down. We are visual people. That's the whole point of creating a vision board. You can do an app, you can put it on your wall, you can make the background on your phone or your computer, just somewhere where you see it on your mirror, like whatever works for you, something that you're going to look at and see often, because we are visual people and it reminds us of why we do the work, why we get up every morning, why we put in the time instead of watching, doing a Netflix binge. It's our reason for doing this. It's super important. Where would you live? Not just location. Maybe it's location, maybe closer to family or closer to someone. Maybe it's a different type of house. Maybe you live in a small apartment and you would like to have a house or a bigger house or, a house in Cabo with an infinity pool on the beach or whatever it is. We're all, like I said, we're all completely different. I want you to describe that home as much as possible because we are so visual. So like I want a Mediterranean style house. That's what I like. That's what my husband and I like. So I would, in fact, on my vision board, there's a Mediterranean home that I just really like. That's beautiful to me. So really just describe what it would look like. How many rooms would it have? Does it have a pool? Is it on a hill? Is it on some land? Whatever it is. And then back to the question, why are these things important to you? Why do you care where you live? Why do you care where you spend your days? What is it costing you right now not to have that already? So what is it costing you not being able to take care of your parents right now? And use their names, be specific. Like what is it costing you not to be able to do those things right now? Not to spend your time where you'd like to spend your time. Because it does cost us something. I mean, everything is a sacrifice for something else. All right, then I want to talk about freedom or liberty. And so this is really interesting. A lot of studies have been shown that, or a lot of studies have shown that entrepreneurs will work more hours and work harder because it's their choice to do so, because we're not told we have to be there and we have to show up and do something. It's absolutely our choice to do it or not do it. But we tend to do that more because we're creating a legacy for one thing, but we have ownership of it, but we choose when to work and if we'd like to work. Nobody's telling us we have to. And there's a lot to be said for that. That everything, like I said, is a choice. You don't have to feed your kids. You don't have to pay. We always say, oh, well, I have to pay the bills. Actually, you don't have to. There are a lot of people who don't feed their kids. There are a lot of people who don't pay their electricity bills. We choose to do that. It's a choice. It's a good choice. It's the right choice. Please feed your kids. But yeah, it's still a choice. So I want you to think about if liberties were ideal, what hobbies or interests would you pursue? Maybe you loved tennis as a kid and you had to give it up, or music, whatever it is, dance. A lot of times creativity stuff will creep up there in your brain. And there's a really good book called Big Magic by Elizabeth Gilbert. She's the same woman who wrote Eat, Pray, Love and did the webinar for Success Club. But Big Magic is the name of the book. And she just talks about basically that creativity is in our DNA and how to use those creative outlets. But so what hobbies and interests would you pursue? Second, and this one's the most important, well, one of the most important in my opinion, how would relationships change? Your family, your friends, your spouse, if you had freedom, if you had liberty, freedom of time, how would your relationships change? With your kids? The next question is, how would you contribute to humanity differently? Causes, time, what would you give back to the world? Maybe your church. Maybe there's an orphanage in Haiti, like Caitlin likes to travel to every few months. Maybe it's something like that. But how would you contribute to humanity differently? What causes are you passionate about? Where would you devote your time? Where would you volunteer? Not to be morbid, but the next one is, what kind of legacy will you leave? What will they say at your funeral? What would you do to have an impact that lasts beyond you? Again, be as specific as possible. I mean, we all leave some type of legacy, right? Whether it's good or bad, whether we really try or not. But we get to decide really what that legacy looks like. Now going back to, why are these things important to you? Why is it important to have these relationships, these strong, healthy relationships? Why is it important to serve humanity, to contribute differently? The more specific you can be, the better it is. What is it costing you right now not to have those liberties, not to have those relationships in an ideal state? Now that you have all those images in your head of everything you want, and you could go on and on. I mean, you could spend a lot longer on this than I'm going to spend right now. But now that you have all of that in your head, I want you to turn it into a 1-year plan. Things you can do today, because obviously you cannot achieve everything in 1 year that you have in your head. But what can you do today to get closer to those goals? Things that are attainable in 1 year. And you know what? Sometimes you have things that are contradictory, and you need to look and figure out what your priorities really are. Because let's say you want to, gosh, I don't know right off, spend time doing mission work. And then you have another priority that's like, I want to, this year, volunteer at my kid's school for however many hours. Like, you're not necessarily going to be able to achieve both of those things in the same year, this year. But, you have to figure out which one of those things is more important to you. So sometimes that happens where they're contradictory, where you want to increase your income by, double. Let's say you want to make 6 figures this year or whatever. If you're going to do that, you're not going to be able to take off 6 months to go on a trip around the world or whatever. So you just have to figure out what those priorities are. And I encourage you to think about those financial goals. Like if your goal is to stay home with your kids, if your goal is to bring your husband home from a job, if your goal is to pay off debt, whatever it is, like you should know what the amount you need to make is. You need to know what that amount is, because that's got to be your goal moving forward. We have to reverse engineer that goal. If your goal, I mean, you should have an income goal. I'm driven by income above rank because of rank is not important to me. Recognition is not important to me, but I want to provide. I want to reach goals that my family, that we have set for ourselves, and have the freedom to be with my kids and to take my family on vacations and things like that. So that drives me the most. And so I spend time trying to maximize my income for sure, but I know what my financial goals are every week, and I know how I'm trending in my business. And I mean, be the CEO of your business, own that, know how you're trending, know if you're increasing, and if you're not, then why not? Figure out what your volume looks like, where it's suffering, where you're missing out, where you could be making more. You need to be aware of that. And I'm happy to help you, especially if you're a new coach and you're like, no, any of this stuff, I don't even know how we make money exactly. That's okay. That's totally okay too. We can help you with that. You just have to reach out. But we just need to make it into our 1-year plan. It's really annoying. My computer is still frozen. I'm looking at your faces like frozen, and there's some funny faces. But anyway, the 12-week year is where I want you guys to start. And I mentioned this in December. If you haven't gotten it, get the book. There are also some worksheets, workbooks, and stuff that go with it that I'm going to post in Arete. Actually, let me write myself a note to do that right now. Okay. I'll post that stuff there too. But I basically want you to go through and spend some time and create your vision board. Have your financial goal there. Have a rank goal there if that's important to you. It's not for me to say what should be important and should not be important. It's completely up to you. So you know what drives you. You know what motivates you. Those are the things that need to be on your vision board. Your kids, if it's time with your kids, or whatever you want to do for your parents or your brothers and sisters, or your spouse, or what types of relationships you'd like to have, the house, the place you'd like to live, paying off debt. All of those things should be on your vision board. Planning your cruise if travel is your thing. I think Caitlin said that. But anyway, I want you to have all of those things visually represented on your vision board. So you see that every single day. It's super powerful to look at that when you're not feeling like you want to do the work, to remember that you're here for a reason. You have a purpose, and that purpose is much larger than yourself. And that always does it for me. I have that on one side, and then I also have, and I've told some of you this before, but I have pictures of all of my coaches' kids on one of my walls. And so I look at the kids of like my sister-in-law, Jody, and Jesse and Andrew. I mean, like I have everybody's kids up on my wall, and Jackie, and I look at them. And so when I'm not feeling motivated or whatever, I just look at their kids, and I'm like, you know what? Part of my job is to help them find financial freedom. So you really have to remember that to reach your goals, you really have to put yourself last and think about helping other people reach their goals. Because when other people reach their goals, you'll reach your goals, period. It's gonna happen. It's absolutely inevitable. So really focus on helping, and it goes especially true in coaching. It's true with your challengers. It's true with your coaches. If you're really invested in them and helping them reach their goals, then yours are gonna happen without even having to push. And that's a beautiful thing, right? We're all sort of intertwined like that. So that's the other thing that really drives me. But anyway, I encourage you to do that as we start this new year. Know what it is you're working towards and have that visual representation. And then when you're reading the 12-week year, come up with that plan in small increments and 12-week increments to make up that year. And I think that you will be surprised how much you can accomplish in a single year if you're really focused with that time. And my my motto is always work smarter, not harder. You will never find me working the most hours, but you will find me working smart. So I work efficiently, and I'm very focused during the time that I have. And that's really my best advice to you, is to turn off notifications and try to get rid of all the distractions, the shiny objects, and stick with what's actually going to build your business, which is staying in phase one. So that's never getting away from the vitals ever. I think sometimes we get bigger and we think, like, now that I have, gosh, I don't know, 1,850 people or whatever, 1,900 people in Arete, it's easy to focus on other people and become a manager, and that is just going to hurt your business. And it's really not duplicatable. So you want to always stay in the game, stay in the trenches, stay in phase one. So what got you to where you are? What got me to Diamond? What got me to Star Diamond? Was staying focused on challengers, getting challengers results. And I'll share this with you quickly. It's almost time to go. But I am focusing really heavily on challengers. And I will give you some questionnaires that I'm giving them every week and every 2 weeks. And when they initially sign up with the challenge pack, I will give you all that information. But I'm really trying to stay engaged with my challengers this year and help them get the best results possible, because they are the lifeblood of our business, and they are the reason most of us coach, but they become our best coaches, certainly, and they also are the people who are referring others to us. And I mean, like I said, that's really why we do this, is to change lives. So I'm really going to focus heavily on my challengers this year. So staying in phase one means doing the things that you did in the beginning. So inviting every single day, expanding your network every single day, inviting to the coaching opportunity, those things every single day, and not just creating blogs and a blog post, pretty pictures, nice reports, whatever. Like, that stuff's secondary, and that's not going to help you build your business. So at least, I don't care if you're 10-star diamond, 15-star diamond, whatever, at least 80% of your time needs to be spent in phase one, always. So anyway, okay, that's my little soapbox, but you guys have an awesome day, night, whatever. Monday, first Monday of the new year, go talk about the All Access Challenge Pack, get your health pet group solidified, and let's make this the best year ever. All right, so you guys have an awesome night. I can't log off, so you'll have to. My thing is frozen.
Thanks, Corey.
Thank you. Good
I don't know if there was any chat. I can't read anything, so if there was, sorry.
Thank you, Corey.
No problem, guys.
Thank you so much. Have a good night.
You too.
It's some video thing. I don't know what it is. No, it was from our I don't understand.